Imagine this with me. A prophet who was illiterate, unable to read or write, lived in Mecca for 13 years, while the Quran was revealed gradually over a span of 23 years. Who preserved the text during this time? A small handful of followers, perhaps only a few dozen. Most of them were poor, enslaved, or marginalized. There was no official compilation, no bound manuscript during the prophet's lifetime. The logical question arises, could an entire scripture be preserved flawlessly under such fragile conditions? Even more striking, the Quran was not compiled into a single book until the reign of Caliph Uthman ibn Affan, nearly 15 years after the prophet's death. See Sahih al-Bukhari, Book of Virtues of the Quran. At that point, all other codices, such as those of Ibn Masud and Ubay ibn Ka'b, were ordered to be burned. Why? If all versions were identical, what need was there for burning? The Quran itself reveals internal problems. The very first revelation, Surat al-Alaq, is placed near the end of the current codex, while Madani chapters like al-Baqarah appear at the beginning. The order is not chronological but disjointed. Verses also appear cut off from their contexts. Consider Qur'an portandarir. If you fear you will not deal justly with the orphans, then marry what pleases you of women, 2, 3, or 4. What connection exists between orphans and polygamy? In al-Ihtijaj by al-Tabars, Al is reported to have said, what was lost between these two passages amounted to more than 1/3 of the Quran. Al-Ihtijaj vol. 1.37. Historical reports in Sunni collections acknowledge missing material. Umar ibn al-Khattab warned, beware that you do not abandon the verse of stoning. We recited it and memorized it. The messenger of God stoned and we stoned after him. Sahih al-Bukhari. Book of Hudud. The text he referred to, the old man and old woman, if they commit adultery, stone them to death, as a deterrent from God, is absent from today's Quran. Aisha reported, among what was revealed was 10 clear sucklings that made unlawful for marriage. Then it was reduced to 5, and the Prophet died while it was still being recited as Quran, Sunan ibn Majah, Sunan al-Nasa'u. This is the so-called verse of adult suckling. Even al-Fatiha, the opening chapter, was read differently. According to Musnad Ahmad and al-Bayhaq, Umar read it as Ghayr al-Maghdubi, alayhim wa ghayr ad-dalin, not those who incurred anger, and not those who went astray, while the current text reads Wala al-da, sredin, nor those who went astray, a seemingly small variation but significant in textual terms. The companion codices also show discrepancies. Ibn Mas'ud reportedly excluded the 2 short chapters of protection, al-Muawwidatain, from his codex, Kitab al-Masahif by Ibn Abi Dawud. Ubay ibn Ka'b included 2 additional chapters, Surat al-Hafs and Surat al-Khal, and used to recite them in prayer, al-Masahif, Parque 180. The 7 and 10 canonical readings, qiraat, reveal further diversity. Malik Yaumi al-Dan, Master of the Day of Judgment, versus Malik Yaumi al-Din, King of the Day of Judgment. Wasa biha Ibrahim banihi versus Awsa biha Ibrahim. In Sahih Muslim, the Prophet himself reportedly said, the Quran was revealed upon 7 ahruf. Recite whichever is easiest. Sahih Muslim, Book of Prayer of Travelers. This is an admission of multiple forms. From a linguistic perspective, the Quran also presents grammatical irregularities. In Surat Taha 2063, Inna hadan la sahiran. Indeed, these two are magicians. The word hadhan appears in the nominative case where grammar requires the accusative. In Al-Ma'idah 69, Inna alladhana amanu walladhana hadu. Wal-sabi'un, where the noun al-sabi'un is raised in a position of grammatical lowering. Classical grammarians like Spaway and Al-Zaj, AJ, acknowledged these as anomalies. Are these not traces of corruption or errors in transmission? Among Shi'i sources, the case is even stronger. Marza al-Nuri authored Fasl al-Khi, Tabfa Tahrif Kitab Rabb al-Arbab, compiling hundreds of traditions affirming omissions, additions, and the loss of 2/3 of the Quran. In Al-Qumis Tafsir, we find verses cited with additions such as Quran liman ampuju, allegedly revealed as, O Messenger, convey what has been sent down to you regarding Al. In Al-Kafi by Al-Qulaynan, multiple narrations suggest that verses about the merits of al-Bayt were removed during compilation. Thus, whether we consider the rational evidence how fragile preservation would have been in an illiterate society or the Historical evidence, Uthman's collection and burning of codices, or the textual evidence, disconnected verses, missing passages, grammatical anomalies, or the witness of companions, themselves acknowledging lost material, or Shia authorities declaring that most of the Quran was lost. The picture is consistent. The Quran as we have it today is not an exact copy of what was revealed, but a text that underwent selection, omission, and change, just as the Torah and the Gospel did before it. And here the unsettling question arises. If the earlier scriptures were altered across time, why should the Quran alone be immune from the same historical process?